Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now this massive bullish signal is still playing out on the Bitcoin chart, as the price of Bitcoin is now repeating history in the short term and also moving towards the next major area of liquidations. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum also moving towards the next major bullish price target, while also flashing a new warning signal in the short term, while this chart right here is about to change everything for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is getting much closer towards the next extremely volatile move on the larger time frames, as I explained in more detail in my last video. And so if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about this chart right here revealing the next major move coming very soon, then make sure to watch my last video here on the channel, because once again in that video I explained in more detail about this chart right here. But ultimately, we're still technically within a larger bullish market, because as of right now, we have not yet invalidated the higher lows and higher highs on the larger time frames. So as of right now, we're technically still in a bull market. But as always, during a larger bullish market on the larger time frames, we can see short-term pullbacks here and there. So just keep that in mind. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart right here, we can see that right now the daily Bitcoin RSI is already trending in the bullish direction, as I've been saying basically every day over the last few weeks. So at least for now on the daily time frame, we're still very much looking more bullish than bearish, as we've seen here in the past, the last few times these signals have flashed. So once again, it doesn't matter what really happens in the short term on the small time frames. When we're zooming out, looking at the bigger picture, we're still currently within a larger bullish trend, or a larger bullish move on the larger time frames. And if we're taking a look at the DXY also on the daily time frame alongside the price of Bitcoin on the same time frame, we can see right now the DXY is actually continuing the pullback to the downside, at least in the short term, which is once again a bullish signal for Bitcoin and crypto, as we've seen time and time again. And so as usual, this time is not different. We're seeing basically the same thing play out over and over again, which I've been sharing here on the channel. And so if you've been watching these videos, you should be making a lot of easy money right now. But if you're new to the channel, then definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on, so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos where I'm sharing these important charts and my trading strategies basically every single day. And so once again, based on multiple patterns and indicators and signals all playing out on the daily time frame, as of right now, we're still looking very bullish on the daily chart when we're talking about the larger move or the trend on the daily time frame. And if we're zooming in a little bit closer but staying on the daily time frame, we can see that just over the last few days, we've found perfect support in this area of support as expected, and perfect resistance along this area of resistance as expected. But in case you're new to the channel, this area of resistance is sitting in between 72,000 to 74,000, and this area of support is sitting in between around 67,000 to 68,000. And so at least in the somewhat shorter term here, while the price is in between that support and that resistance, we're looking relatively neutral just in the short term. But remember, when we're zooming out on the larger time frames, looking at the bigger picture, we're still looking very bullish. And so essentially what's happening at the moment is the price is just basically cooling off after this previous bullish move, potentially getting ready for the next major move coming very soon, as this chart shows. And if we're zooming all the way into the short term, looking at the 1 hour time frame, we can see right now the price of Bitcoin is basically repeating history. Because right now we're actually seeing a new bullish divergence play out on the 1 hour time frame, because just recently over the last 1 day we have confirmed new lower lows in the price in the candle closes, while also confirming higher lows in the 1 hour Bitcoin RSI, which is a bullish divergence that has already started to play out. And if we're simply looking at the last time this happened around half a week ago, and it played out over around 2 days, give or take, where we had an initial bullish relief, a bullish move in the short term, followed by some choppy sideways price action. And so if we continue to play out this bullish divergence similar to how we played out the last bullish divergence on the 1 hour time frame, we could potentially see perhaps a little bit more bullish price action followed by a sideways consolidation. But ultimately, once again, at least in the somewhat somewhat shorter term, the price is still in this choppy sideways price range until we eventually break one of these areas. But soon enough, we're going to have a very volatile move potentially in the coming weeks. And so when it comes to my trading strategy right now, as of right now, I'm still currently in this Bitcoin long position that I've been sharing basically every single day, very transparently here on the channel ever since I began entering into the position below $60,000. And so once again, if you've been watching my videos over the last few weeks, you should be making a lot of easy money right now, as I'm doing right here. This one trade has made more than 40 to 50,000 in just a couple of weeks. And also, even in the worst case scenario, if the price just crashes right now for whatever reason, in that case, I'll still profit from this trade because I've already realized some profits from the trade. And on top of that, my stop loss is above my entry in profits, which means in the worst case scenario, if the price just crashes, that would close the rest of the trade in profits. And so once again, if you've been following my channel over the last few weeks, and if you took this trading strategy, which I've been sharing transparently every day, then as of right now, if the price dumps, you should still be making profits. And if the price pumps, you should also be making even more profits. So basically, it doesn't matter if the price goes up or down, I'm still making money with this trade. And so this is why it is important to subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos where I'm sharing these trading strategies basically every day. And also, if you want to take trades just like this, then personally, I'm taking this trade right here over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can get up to a 200 USDT airdrop position just by making a Bybit account using that link, making a deposit and claiming the airdrop. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can see over the last one day, we took out a lot of short-term liquidity, which was sitting just above $70,000. And that's exactly what I was talking about in my last video. I said it's very likely the price will cross above 70,000 to take out that liquidity, causing a bit of a short squeeze in the short term, which once again has exactly played out as expected. But with that being said, we still have a lot more liquidity to the upside, mainly sitting at around 72,000 approximately, which is basically acting as a magnet for the price of Bitcoin. Essentially, that is going to help draw the price of Bitcoin towards that level. And then once the price of Bitcoin eventually crosses above 72,000, that will liquidate hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars of short positions, which can also cause a further short squeeze to the upside, potentially triggering the next volatile move in the price of Bitcoin. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, right now the price of ETH is continuing the bullish breakout from the bullish falling wedge, which I've been talking about for a long time now on the channel, with a technical price target at around 40.70 approximately, so just below 4.1k. And obviously, as of right now, the price is getting very close to that technical price target. So obviously, if you took this trading opportunity by entering a long position, for example, at the point of the breakout, or even just buying some Ethereum near the point of the breakout and holding it till now, obviously you've done very well on this trade if you took that opportunity, which I also shared here on the channel. And if we're taking a look at that 8-hour time frame, like I said in my last video, the price of ETH was already starting to break out above this 78.6% Fibonacci level of resistance, which was sitting at around 38.20. And since then, we have seen more confirmation, more candle closes well above that line right there. And so technically speaking, that level at 38.20 should become new support. In case we see some sort of pullback, we should find some support around that level. But in a more bearish scenario, if we actually broke back below that level, then obviously in that case, the next major area of support to the downside is this area right here in between around 3.6k to 36.50. And as for the next resistance to the upside to pay attention to, that's basically this previous high just underneath 4.1k. But with that being said, if we're zooming further into the short term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, the price of ETH since my last video has actually invalidated that previous bearish divergence that we saw right back here. Because since then, the price has actually formed a new higher high in the candle closes. But as of right now, even though the price has formed a new higher high, the RSI is still technically forming lower highs, which means the price is potentially forming a new bearish divergence. But with that being said, this new potential bearish divergence in the price of ETH on the 4-hour time frame has not yet been confirmed, because we still need to actually confirm the lower high in place in the RSI by seeing some red candle closes, for example. But essentially, if we see that happen, if we see, let's just say, around 2 to 3 red candle closes actually confirm here in the price, confirming the lower high in place in the RSI, then in that case, this will likely continue to play out at least over the next 1 to 2 days or so in the form of either a short-term pullback or some choppy sideways price action as the most likely outcomes, similar to what we saw right here at that previous bearish divergence. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, this is ETH BTC on the weekly time frame, and right now the price of ETH when valued in Bitcoin is getting extremely close to a major breakout above a multi-year long line of resistance. Because the price of ETH has basically been constantly trending to the downside and getting rejections from this line of resistance since around 2 years ago, since almost mid-2022. But right now we're seeing a massive bullish divergence play out on the weekly time frame that's been forming for nearly 1 entire year. And if we actually confirm this breakout in the price of ETH versus Bitcoin above this massive descending line of resistance, that could change everything for Ethereum versus Bitcoin compared to what we've seen over the last few years. Because basically over the last few years, in my situation, I've been holding a lot more Bitcoin compared to Ethereum, considering Bitcoin has been performing a lot better than Ethereum over the last few years, as we can clearly see by this massive downtrend in Ethereum versus Bitcoin. But if we see a major breakout here above this resistance and ideally above these previous highs, which by the way is sitting at around 0.061 Bitcoin per Ethereum, and if we break out above those highs right there on this chart, then personally I'll be looking to sell some of my Bitcoin to buy more Ethereum. So basically converting some of my long-term Bitcoin holdings into Ethereum. Because just for an example, as always, this is not financial advice, but just for an example, let's just say if I were to sell 1 Bitcoin at this breakout at these highs right here, and let's just say ETH BTC moved back up towards these previous highs approximately, which would be around a 30% gain against Bitcoin. In that example, if I were to sell 1 Bitcoin right here to buy the equivalent amount of Ethereum and then hold that for this move to the upside, and then after a 30% move on this chart, sell that Ethereum back into Bitcoin, then in that example, I would have turned 1 Bitcoin into 1.3 Bitcoin with a 30% move to the upside on this chart. And so that is the trading strategy for this chart right here if we confirm a breakout above these highs. But once again, as of right now, we have not yet confirmed the breakout. And as always, that's not personal financial advice because I don't know your personal financial situation. I'm just being transparent with my trading strategies. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 12-hour time frame, over the last 1 day, we've seen pretty much a perfect bounce from exactly $160, which was a critical level to hold above and is now acting as new support, as I've mentioned recently here on the channel. And so 160 is still acting as strong support, but in a more bearish scenario, if we broke below 160, the next major area of support is sitting in between 140 to 144. And as for short-term resistance, if we can break out above this level at 172, which should be acting as a bit of resistance, if we break out above 172, the next resistance to pay attention to is sitting in between around 182 to 186 approximately. And above that, we have more resistance in between $200 to $210. And we also have a bullish price target for the breakout for this inverse head and shoulders pattern at around $208 to $209. But obviously between now and then we have resistance to pay attention to, and also that price target would become invalidated if we see a confirmed break below 160, which as of right now has not happened. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, So no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.